On today's episode, we're going to talk about things that shocked me about Germany when I first arrived. You can prepare yourself as much as possible when you're planning on moving to a different country, but you can't prepare for everything. Hello, Kin Lieblings. I'm Mari, science fiction and fantasy author who's been living in southern Germany since 2014. Today, we're going to talk about culture shocks. When I had moved to Germany back in 2014, it wasn't my first time in Germany, nor was it my second or my third time in Germany. And yet I was still shocked by certain things. And when I say shocked, I don't mean earth-shattering, but differences that I thought I understood, but didn't fully realize until I was actually faced with it. But before we get started, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell if you haven't already. Here on Adventures of Lamadi, we talk about writing, living abroad, and everything in between. This list may seem random, but bear with me. 1. Stores being closed on Sunday. I am quite sure you're rolling your eyes and exclaiming, "Ugh, another American complaining about not being able to worship the consumerism God on Sunday." And you're right. It's a shock when you come from a country where you can buy whatever you want, whenever you want, to come to a country that closes its doors on Sundays. And even during the week, most stores outside of grocery stores and drogeries are only open until 6. And when you have to work until like 4 or 5, then you only have a short window as well. Like, it's super limiting when you work full time. While I was unemployed and playing housewife, that wasn't a problem, but it's not conducive when you have a household where both people are working. Whatever. Most professionals I know of have had to resort to online shopping because of this, because their hours don't really give them the luxury to buy more than just essentials, but first world problems, right? When I first moved here, I was living by myself and working in a lab, and I have to tell you, lab hours are all over the place. Like, we would have samples coming in at like 4 a.m. and sometimes had to stay until midnight when samples came that late, and we worked weekends and holidays and still had to perform the mental gymnastics to make sure that we didn't work more than 10 hours and still had that 11-hour break between shifts. Yeah, that was fun. And having that kind of work environment and still hope that your free time aligns with stores being open, or worse, trying to go to the bank, which is my next culture shock. Number 2, German banking. Cash is still king in Germany. But I have noticed in the years that I've been here that things are evolving more to the digital age. I think compared to other things in Germany, I do feel like they've been moving at a good speed. I'm also still amazed with how much paperwork there is. Like, when you open a bank account, you get the normal paperwork with your account information, fine. But then if you want to bank online, you need to not only have the banking app, but also a separate app to get a security code or a TAN, which then you'll need to perform transactions. And in the States, that's performed either through email or through your phone. But in Germany, you have this app. In order to verify that app, then you need more paperwork that gets sent to you and to verify it. And then also the really complicated instruction manual that I got from my bank to organize this whole thing was like 10 pages long. And then with my bank, I need 2 passwords, one for online banking and another one for my phone app. And when I say online banking, I mean for my computer. Like, I need one for the phone app and one for the computer. It's like so unnecessarily complicated. And I think there are ways to keep your account information safe without having to kill so many trees. And my poor husband has to hear me bitch about this all the time. And paperwork aside, banks in Germany are also only normally open in the mornings during the week, except for Thursdays, where they're open until 6. And that's it. They aren't open on Saturdays. So if you want to get anything special done with your account, you will need an appointment. And there's so much more I can go on about German banking. That was one of the biggest shocks, actually. But there's more. One of the even bigger shocks was realizing that these bank chains aren't actually chains. In the States, I have an account with Chase. Who doesn't? Even though I live in Germany, I actually still have this account. I've had this account since I was like 16. When I moved from Indianapolis to Chicago and essentially to a different state, I didn't have to change anything. It's a proper chain and I can access my account anywhere. On the other hand, when I moved from Weingarten to Überlingen, I was expected to change banks from Weingarten to Überlingen. And that didn't make any sense to me. They were both Sparkasse. It's a chain, right? Nope. And what's worse is you need to know the locations of your bank in case you need to access your money when there's no ATM. And what do I mean? So So I was actually in the city of Karlsheim and I needed cash for the car wash because, cash is king. So I went to the local bank, like my bank, who I assumed, bank chain, to find that their ATM was broken. So I went to the teller to get money because in the States you can do that. And I was denied because this is Bank Karlsheim. You need to go to the bank in your village to get money. Yeah, I ended up going to a rival bank and just paying the fee because I didn't have time to drive 20 minutes each way so I can get my, it was stupid. So I'm glad that normally I can use an ATM, which, you can go to any of those banks within, like, that's like the only thing chain related that works. It is a minor inconvenience for someone like me in the long run, but I have friends who are so scared of the digital age that they only go to the teller to get their money. They don't even have a debit card. Everything must be cash. This is just worlds different than what I get to in the States. Like when I'm in the States, all I need to do is carry my driver's license and a debit card. But whew. Number 3 is how hard the water is. This is cultural because Germans love their water and love to boast about how amazing their water is. And I have lost count how many times I have to hear my husband complain that the water smells like chlorine in the States. And while I do enjoy the taste of some of the water brands we buy here in Germany, I have to admit that it was shocking how much calcium residue is everywhere. The dishwasher, tea kettle, coffee machine, shower, and worst of all, my hair. The problem with having such hard water is that your hair actually doesn't get clean, folks. All of the minerals and in the shampoo just get caked in your hair and build up. And I know this because of what happened to my hair slowly over the first 4 years after my move to Germany. You see how my hair is now? Like super pretty and curly. Actually, this is second day wash, all right? So I actually washed my hair yesterday and it's prettier. I'll put a photo of like what it normally looks like. It's not looking that great right now because this was from yesterday. But anyway, it's very fine and it's easily weighed down. And if there's too much in my hair to weigh it down, it turns straight, which is what happened. I had noticed that my hair wasn't curly anymore. And I would get up earlier and I would actually curl my hair before work. And before the day was even over, it was straight again. I didn't get it. And for a while, I thought I was just getting older and that my hair was a different texture and therefore no longer curly, which is weird because I usually could, growing up, I could curl my hair and it would last for days. So the fact that it couldn't even last, barely a work day. So anyway, I went to my cave and I did some research and I learned how much hard water can mess with your hair. So I invested in some clarifying shampoo and boom, my hair has never been better. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. I mean, we use citric acid to clean our appliances. So we should also consider doing that with our own hair. Clarifying shampoo is mostly fruit acid as a main ingredient. But I say this sparingly. This is my recommendation, and I also just recommend to use this sparingly. Don't replace your shampoo completely. Just add it to your regimen, like once or twice a month, like you would cleaning your appliances, every once in a while. Whatever you think will be best for your hair, it really will make a difference, and it really helps. It really, I cannot recommend it enough how much it helps. And like I said, it is cultural because I do find it fascinating that Germans worship their water and yet they see what it does to their appliances. There are ways of softening your water. Especially if you live in an older house and you can't really get a water softener, which is very common in the States. You do have some older generations that will complain oh, you don't need to do that. There's no need to install one of those things. You just need elbow grease. It worked in the old days, you kids and your newfangled stuff. Yeah, we have those people in the States too. My fourth shock was how much Germans love being outside. This surprised me. I really did. I enjoy being outside, but I found the summers colder than back in Indiana. So I was cold a lot the first few years, especially because Germans also love having their windows open, especially in the dead of winter. And I never felt like I could get warm. I have gotten used to it and I live to be outside. And now that the stores are closed on Sundays, we use that day to go for a walk when the weather is even remotely nice. Actually, we do it now even if the weather's crap because there's nothing else to do during the pandemic with everything closed all the time. And now we've come full circle. These are the big things that have shocked me the most. There are others, but this short list were the ones that really got me the most, and I have grown accustomed to, except for the banking. I will always complain about the banking and I will die mad. More complicated doesn't necessarily equal safer. I'm sure plenty of people had their own culture shocks when moving to a new country. What were your biggest shockers? Let me know in the comments below. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here, please consider subscribing and give this video a thumbs up. It lets me and YouTube know that you like this kind of content and you want to see more. Please leave me a comment if you have any questions or if there's a certain topic you'd like to see on this channel. If you want fun escapism, my space fantasy The God Queen is available in ebook, paperback, and hardback. The sequel, The Last Imperator, is also available for pre-order. And if you have pre-ordered, don't forget to sign up for the TLI pre-sale giveaway. If you sign up for my newsletter, you'll get the first 6 chapters of The God Queen, as well as the prequel short story, The Knight and the Goddess, so sign up. And if you've read any of my work or the work of your favorite author, please leave a review. It really helps us authors out, and it is free to do so. And don't forget to connect with me on social media, whether it is through Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. And that's it. Until next time, ade!